Jussie Smollett, the actor accused of staging a racist and homophobic attack against himself in 2019, may now finally be heading to jail to serve out his sentence. So far, he served just 6 days of his 150-day sentence. But on Friday, an Illinois appeals court upheld the convictions on 5 counts of disorderly conduct that the former Empire star was found guilty of after it was found he lied to Chicago police about the, quote, attack. Smollett's attorneys were not even arguing their client's innocence, but rather that this was a case of double jeopardy since Smollett had already cut a deal, even performed community service as part of that deal with a previous prosecutor. The initial charges of staging the attack were dropped by Cook County State Attorney Kim Foxx. Smollett's attorneys challenged then the legitimacy of the next special prosecutor, as well as challenging jury selection, evidence allowed at the trial. But all challenges are rejected in a 2-to-1 vote by the appeals court. Now, Smollett's team pounced on that, quote, "We wish to highlight the decision was divided. We're prepared to escalate this matter to the Supreme Court, armed with a substantial body of evidence." Decision was split, yes, but that doesn't change the outcome of Smollett's rejected appeal, nor his initial trial, neither of which went in his favor. Now, according to the special prosecutor, whose legitimacy Smollett challenged, the case is now closed.
Under Illinois law, they only have one appeal as a matter of legal right. That's the appeal to the Illinois Appellate Court. It's over. We won that today.
Remember, cold Chicago, January 2019, Smollett reports to police he's attacked by 2 guys wearing ski masks and yelling, quote, "This is MAGA country," in Chicago, right? Not exactly MAGA country. The investigation found his alleged attackers soon turned into an investigation into Smollett, all leading to his arrest less than a month later, charges that he made up the whole thing. Police and prosecutors say he paid those 2 brothers who worked as extras on the set of his show Empire to stage the assault, that he told them to yell racist and homophobic slurs, as they did and as they testified he told them to do. Smollett maintained his innocence, as evidenced by his courtroom outburst following the sentencing.
All right, defendants remanded to the custody of sheriff. Court is adjourned.
I am not suicidal.
Stop locking up our class.
I am not suicidal, and I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
Joining us now, Jesse Weber, attorney, anchor for the Law and Crime Network, also a News Nation legal contributor. All right, so is this over? Meaning, is it time for him to serve his time?
Not exactly. So he's got 35 days to file an appeal to the Supreme Court of Illinois. If they choose not to take up the case, then it goes back down, and there's a chance he will have to go to jail and serve what I think is now 144 days since he served 6 days in prison. Now, if they ultimately take it up, the question is, would they decide the same way as the appellate court? I think that they would, because I think that the decision that just came out made sense. They basically said that whatever agreement Jussie Smollett thought he had, there was no indication that prosecutors were just unilaterally dismissing the case, never going to bring charges again. What they agreed to was temporarily not prosecuting the case. That's why he agreed to community service. There was never any agreement that he could never be prosecuted again.
The special prosecutor is saying they only get 1 appeal.
That's the argument that he thinks. But the thing is, he has every right, Jussie Smollett, to petition this to the Supreme Court. That doesn't mean they'll take it. But I disagree with him that he thinks that there's 1 appeal, because they can appeal it to the Supreme Court. I don't think he's going to be successful based on what we saw in the prior opinion.
So assuming that it gets rejected, what kind of timing are we talking about, you think, before he has to actually start serving the time?
He has to go back to the trial court. They have to set a date for when he has to surrender himself. And by all counts, he's going to serve, what, almost 5 months in prison? I mean, look, you asked me, I've covered this case at the beginning with you, Dan. I think this was a very serious crime. I always said jail time was necessary. I just thought the whole prosecution of this was a complete mess.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
It was a mess, right? And the fact that the first prosecutor, suggested she was dropping the charges never made any sense.
And the special prosecutor cited for the faults in that prior prosecution.
Jesse Weber, thank you. Does it for us tonight. Banfield starts now. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.